Hey friends, welcome back to Chinez Tarot. This is my platform for channeled messages and spiritual guidance for the collective looking to master their inner world. Before we get into this reading, please remember that you can connect with me personally for a personal tarot reading through my website, officialchinez.com/book tarot. I do run flash sales every once in a while on personal readings, so look out for that. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. This reading is existing heavily in the heart chakra. I am a little surprised and also happily excited about all of the heart chakra energy in this reading. There is something very aligned about the messages that are coming through today. And these things have a lot to do with our heart space, our relationships, how we love, what we've always wanted to communicate, and our general connection to abundance and prosperity. There is this energy in this reading about undoing a lot of past karmic contracts in this lifetime, and because having done so, there are a lot of far-reaching changes that are going to particularly happen for this collective in the space of their feminine energy. Heavy Virgo and Taurus energy in this reading. This is all about grounding what your heart space truly wants, truly desires in this lifetime, because there is this past of not honoring that and also denying yourself certain rights to be able to express what it is that you want, denying yourself the ability to do so in the past. And because of that, we had this sort of past life experience where we didn't experience as much abundance as we could have. We were very focused in a past life on security, on community, on communicating with people what we felt like was the right kind of way. And in this life, it's not about that. It's about another side of your soul's energetic frequency where your feminine can freely communicate and show up the way that it has always been meant to, and in a way that calls in and draws in a lot of abundance. And there's a lot of this connected to worthiness and the idea that if you are not a set of ideals, or if you are not a set of certain standards for yourself, then you are not worthy of the life that you want. And your environment, feeling that your environment is reinforcing that by either taking things away from you that you really, really desired, dissolving certain relationships that you were attached to, and even feeling like you've lost your voice or you aren't connecting internally to your inner communication. Like there is this energy of a far-reaching shift, change that is going to be happening in this lifetime because of the karmic contracts that you're correcting from the past life. So there is this acknowledgement that this particular time, emotions are running high, particularly in this Gemini season, because all of the elements of yourself that were buried in this past life are now resurfacing. So let's go ahead and pull some clarifiers over this energy so that we can hopefully get some guidance on how to balance this particular time of heavy energy, heavy heart space energy, because what's happening here is a heart space clearing of blockages. And a lot of this clearing is also going to come through your throat chakra. It's like those two particular systems are working together to clear this heart blockage that has existed for forever, well, at least from this past life. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some clarifiers over this energy. I already feel like the deck is ready to speak. Okay. Over the energy, you are good enough. Okay, so with the Page of Pentacles, one of your past contracts in a previous life was to live at the level of the status quo. So there's this element that you came into this life with a certain perception about your capacity to live and living at the baseline. That's what we would refer to as the status quo. Not really focusing on your own evolution, but rather focusing on the lowest level of survival and security that you possibly can. Okay, and this energy is accompanied with the Seven of Swords. So in this lifetime, you are being pushed to be more strategic about what it is that you have to offer this world. Because one of the reasons why you've stayed in this energy of the status quo lifetime after lifetime is because your energy didn't ever feel good enough, full enough, ready. It didn't feel worthy of higher, of better. And so this is the energy that has been really like taking over your energetic body in this lifetime, and it's calling you to be more strategic and to think more deeply about your skills, about what you really can do in the heart space, about what you're great at, as opposed to looking at the ways that you can keep yourself, safe, in a safe space. The safe space that we've been in lifetime after lifetime hasn't brought us the happiness that we've been owed karmically. So this is why we're being called to address that. Okay, so this is confirmation of this inner soul healing, but particularly in the space of genuine unhappiness, a genuine faithlessness toward life, or just having sort of a lower outlook on life. And this feels very much like what I would call being in your 20s. I would say that being in your 20s is one of the most difficult parts of your life. Your emotions are running extremely high and they're volatile, and everything feels catastrophic. And this is what this energy feels like, whether you're in your 20s while you're watching this reading or not. This is the energy that's being cleared. This is the energy that comes before, your Saturn return, or even during your Saturn return at times where you really feel disconnected from purpose after achieving so many external things. And so this is one of the energies that is being healed during this period of your life, bringing in this Queen of Swords energy. Wow, okay, this Queen of Swords energy over communication. You're not going to be holding back anymore in this next period. You're not going to be sparing people's feelings in this next period. You're going to be speaking your truth from your heart space, because this is something that you denied yourself of in the past. And I do feel like there are elements even in this lifetime where that conditioning of denying yourself the space to speak the truth from your heart resurfaced. And it was something that you potentially used, at different stages of your life up until this point, up until you finding this reading, as these readings are timeless. And that is what is being reckoned in this process. This other side of yourself who has things to say, who has opinions from their heart space, whether people agree with them or not, is what is actually emerging. Okay, so Ace of Wands over this South Node energy, over overcoming these limitations of your past. This is talking about how equipped you are at handling this next chapter of your life and how much energy your spiritual team is sending you to achieve. Okay, wow. So the Seven of Wands, heavy 7 energy. You may be seeing 777, you may be seeing 222, because this is about your alignment within your spiritual expansion and the rapid way your spirit is expanding at the soul level, which is deeply emotional and can sometimes look very still on the surface. So that's why we have this emotions running high energy, because as much as things may look calm to other people or calm from the outside looking in, it is anything but that under the surface. And it's because you're almost, you're basically going through a spiritual renaissance. Okay, so then we have this Hierophant energy when it comes to stability, when it comes to prosperity, and when it comes to ever wondering if you were going to have the level of stability that you feel would make you feel safe to lean into your feminine energy. That's the biggest part. More Taurus energy coming into this reading. So these themes may be something that has come up across, it has come up in the last couple of months in April and May, and that are kind of coming to sort of a tower moment right now, is what it feels like in the season of Gemini, where you desperately need your feminine and your masculine energy to work together as a team to call in this prosperity, because there is also this energy that, we're exhausted, we are tired. The star card in reverse, going through this spiritual expansion. We are really okay. So this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, one of the reasons why I'm feeling this fatigue and this tiredness is because it's feeling like we have to put, 100% of our energy into things, into our survival, into, what we do every day for a living, into our relationships. And we're not getting that back in reality. In reality, all of the worth that we're putting into things, all of the work, all of the foresight, we're really not seeing the fruits of that. We're wondering, where is the stability from this hard work? We're not seeing that. And Spirit is telling you that that prosperity lies ahead. There are things that are being released in this process that are currently sort of, I don't want to say stalling the prosperity, because that makes it seem like there is something that you're doing wrong, or it gives like a connotation that, there are blockages that you personally are responsible for, when that's not necessarily what it is. Part of it is your own accountability, and the other part of it is just the natural world aligning to this new frequency that you're attuning to. So these rewards are coming, and I do feel very much that whoever is listening to this reading needs to know that the rewards are coming, because there's this energy of faithlessness about when are things going to show up. It's been taking so long, and I'm really getting tired. Okay, a time to give rather than to take over this energy. This has a lot to do with the future. So with the Three of Wands in reverse, and feeling like certain elements of your future life are on hold or on pause, it's because it's not so much of a matter of you needing to give to others, you needing to pour into others, as much as it's a matter of you needing to release the ways that you haven't been pouring into yourself. There is an energy of you needing to pour into your own image, particularly into the concept of your own image. And this has a lot to do with some stuff I've been writing about personally, because there is a way that we construct who we are, or we go about life thinking we are this person. And when we get to this particular point that we're in now, where our emotions are running high, and a lot of what we thought was going to secure us isn't securing us, a lot of what we thought was our intuition, we are now second guessing, and we, are coming to a crossroads in our life. It really does a number on our image, and that has a deep effect on your heart. All of our chakras, they don't exist in a vacuum. Our image sits in our solar plexus right beneath your heart. And it's almost like it's contributed to the blockage in your heart, because we've lost a sense of what we feel like we are. From a physical standpoint, from an image standpoint, and our heart feels disconnected from that. So we need to release the energy where we take some of the ways that we define that for ourselves from the outside world, from our external accomplishments, from our list, our checklist of life. And we need to go within ourselves and give ourselves what we feel are new images internally, because that's where it begins. It's beginning. This new pathway is beginning in the heart space. Okay, Queen of Wands in reverse. This is also echoing this disconnect from that creative, expansive feminine energy. And the only way that we're going to find that energy is if we reject what we've been taking in from the outside world, from our from overthinking our decisions and start to sit with the ways that we can give to ourselves emotionally. And I am going to pull some deeper clarifiers over that so we can hopefully make that more clear to those who are listening. Okay, so your dreams need a practical plan with the Page of Cups in reverse. It's kind of hard to do that when you feel depleted of your creative energy, and this is what this is representing. And this is another reason why I felt the need to pull some deeper clarifiers over how can we reconnect to this deeper feminine energy that we feel blocked from, because we don't know how to incorporate those things into our image of ourselves, who is so tapped into our survival and who is so concerned about whether or not we're ever going to live above the standard, and whether we're ever going to have the space or the time to actually invest into that feminine part of ourselves. That's the struggle, right? Is to figure out, how do I practically incorporate my feminine energy? It feels so impractical, because in this world, what is a practical way for me to rest when I need to pay bills? What is a practical way for me to call in the right kind of partner if I already feel disconnected from intimacy? You know what I mean? Like that. This is what I'm talking about. I'm saying that the practical and what we desire, the rubber is meeting the road on that. And we're in this stage where we're frustrated with the integration, because we feel like we are pouring our emotional and mental energy into changing these ways about ourselves internally, but we're not seeing the opportunities come up for us to maybe, have a restful job. We're not seeing the relationships come up for us to maybe lean into our feminine. When is it coming? When is it coming? That's the deep energy of this reading. Okay, so with emotions are running high, and the past life energy that I was already picking up on this reading with the Six of Cups in reverse is confirmed that, in the past and in many instances of your soul's iteration, it was so focused on what was going to make itself stable. It had no time to integrate anything feminine at all. So the reason why we're going over that point is because there is this energy of almost feeling like you're not doing enough, almost feeling like you're failing at incorporating your feminine energy when you've done so much more than whatever was done in your past lives. Like the leaps and bounds, like if you could look at your soul from the bird's eye view, you would see the leaps and bounds that you've taken that you didn't actually take in past lifetimes. So everything that you're grappling with now at this point has so much purpose. And it's the reason why your emotions are so fragile, because your desire for what you want is only becoming stronger the more you do the work. You know what I mean? Like it's not dissipating, it's escalating. And it's like you need the physical world to show you what's real. So let's see if we can get some guidance on how we can deal with the conflict of incorporating feminine energy, where when we don't feel like certain opportunities are aligning. Okay. Wow. Okay. The first thing I like loudly in my head, I heard, take it from them. Take it from them. Take it from them, with this energy of get away. Like, okay, so whoever is listening to this reading, you have to carve out and be super, super intentional about the time that you want to spend. And I mean an hour a day. Okay, start there. We have to start very small, because this element of triggers that we got here this summer is going to be challenging. I sense there's a lot of active, fiery energy throughout the duration of the summertime. And there will be a lot of triggers that make you want to give in to the reality that you can't have the things that you want. And this is why you have to carve out specific time, an hour, whether you're in the park, at the beach, alone in your room, whatever the case may be, is you have to take the time back. No, it's like, it does feel conflicting involving, incorporating your feminine energy into what your masculine has to do to survive. But that conflict isn't going to move in order for you to overcome this period. This is why the Seven of Swords, stressing that you become strategic, is important. But in order for you to become strategic, you need to step away. You need to completely step out of your current situation and remove yourself, maybe even physically. Go, do a very cheap, safe Airbnb at the beach, or in the woods in a cabin, and get away for as much time as you can steal back, so that you can start to strategize, because that's what it needs. Okay. And so with this energy of clown, there is this emphasis of, you cannot afford to beat yourself up at this time about anything that has happened so far. You can't afford to allow your shame to take the front seat. I'm seeing 2222. You can't afford that. Is what is going to block things. And if there are elements of shame that you're feeling, you need to vocalize those things, say them out loud, and redirect those things out of your energetic body. For example, before we get into what's the cards on the bottom of the deck, and before I give you an example of how you can redirect elements of shame outside of your body, make sure to hit that like button so I can continue to connect to your energy, continue to give you clear and concise messages, and subscribe to this channel. You can connect with me at Official Chinez on TikTok and Instagram and Substack, as well as my video essay channel, Channeling Chinez. Okay, so one of the best ways for you to eject negative energy out of your energetic field, that's what we're going to call it, is for you to vocally call it out. Energy, whether you can physically put your finger on it or not, has a life. And as soon as you call it out, its life is exposed energetically, and then it can begin to leave your system. And it's so funny that I'm like stumbling over my words, struggling to get this out, because almost like it's a secret that they didn't want me to tell you. Like, like they don't want me to tell, there's like these energies that want to hold you back from innovating. And these are the triggers that I'm feeling that are going to come up this summer, where you're going to feel like everything in your environment doesn't want you to snatch that time back, doesn't want you to do those things. And the second that those things come into your psyche, you have to verbally call them out. And when you do that, they will leave. They will leave you, or they will at least become lighter. And the lighter they are, the easier they will be to manage. We have luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius, visit, and tower. So I already felt like this was a tower moment. So to see that to come at the bottom of the deck is very confirming. This energy of visit is also about, when you decide to take some of this time back, be very particular about who you spend that time with, because there are going to be people in your environment who are still stuck at that status quo level, who aren't ready to push past that and start strategizing. And Spirit just wants to warn you to not let those individuals be another form of trigger for you. And I do believe that luck is on your side. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next reading.